and open up doors. Cliff Barros is with me. Cliff, good morning.
Morning.
And you'll want to speak right into the microphone there.
Morning, Uncle Harry. How
Thank
you
you.
doing today?
Thank you for coming in on television so early in the morning.
That's all right. It's been a long week for all of us, I think.
It has been a long week for all of us. I wanted to bring you in. And by the way, the radio listeners, we're going to rejoin radio here in just a few minutes. I wanted to bring you in today on Veterans Day because I know that Habitat has something special that it's doing for veterans, a couple of projects that are going on tomorrow.
That's right.
Well, we'll talk a bit about this. You're helping a couple of veterans.
Yeah, we have a great program. It's actually open to all veterans who have low incomes. We work with the Home Depot Foundation and through the Federal Home Loan Bank, and we can do really repairs up to, if we were able to use both programs, up to $15,000 of repairs. So it's pretty strong program. These two particular, we wanted to highlight what we do. It's Veterans Day, and it just makes a lot of sense to put the two together. So we decided to do two projects on one day. We've got the Army ROTC coming out to help us on a house of an Army vet, and it's a really good deal for the families. It's really good for the kids who are in the Army or in the armed forces or the returning veterans to give back to their fellow veterans. It's just a good project all around.
Now for the viewers, if you're not familiar with Habitat, and I wasn't until I guess 18 months ago or so, before I got pulled in and educated on it, we've all seen examples of Habitat helping people get homes built and help people actually purchase a home. But I never knew that Habitat did so much more. In fact, what excites me about Habitat is you do things like this, where there's already a house there and you're helping revitalize a neighborhood.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's really, our whole mission is about making sure that people have a safe and a decent place to live. And that if your neighbor's house is falling down, then you don't really have a safe and decent place to live. And so we want to make sure that if the opportunity is there and we have the funding to do it, that we can help as many people as we can to have that safe and decent environment around them, in their house, around their house. And that's really a pretty cool thing. I mean, I don't know how else to put it.
Well, that's I was asked to be with your board, I guess a little over a year ago, and the home building is one thing, but as I've mentioned to you before, for some reason I get really excited when I see these projects where neighborhoods that have been going in a bad direction end up going in a completely opposite positive direction, because Habitat comes in and helps people renovate their homes.
I think Hillsdale is our biggest example of that. We've built almost 50 houses in there. We've done some renovations on a few others, and from what we're told, at one point 7-8 years ago, when you looked at the blight map, it was huge, a big area of blight on the map, and now it barely shows up at all, because it's not just the work that we've done. There were other nonprofit groups that came in and joined us in there. And then, like you said, I'm not sure if you said it today or another time we were together, but once you do it, we fix our house. The neighbors see that our house is fixed up, and they see their other neighbors' houses are fixed up, and then they're a little motivated to get their house fixed up, and especially if there's funding available to help, and that makes it a whole lot easier. So
well, it's one of those things. Not only does it help the person that is in the actual house getting renovated, it really helps the entire community. It helps everyone's property values go up.
That's right.
When that tide rises for everyone.
That's exactly it. And it really is a strong program. We have another program that's just called a Brush with Kindness. We don't do as many heavy repairs. It's mostly painting, exterior work. We just did 3 houses on Hoppins Drive down right south of Brooklyn. And we look to do another 8 to 9 houses on that one block. So then you've put fresh paint, cleaned up the landscaping, repaired the fences in the front yard for 12 houses out of 15, 16 houses. And that really makes an impact on that whole street, the whole neighborhood around that street.
Okay, we're going to rejoin where we've been talking here on the CW55 for you TV viewers. Now we're going to merge television and radio and be both on TV and radio. We're going to do that in less than a minute. Habitat for Humanity, Southwest Alabama. What is the service area? Mobile County and where else?
It's Mobile, Washington, Clark.
Mobile, Washington, Clark.
That's right. Escambia and Baldwin have their own Habitat affiliates in each of those counties.
And Habitat is very active all over the country.
Oh yeah,
especially down here on the Gulf Coast, though.
Right. There's like 1,400 Habitat affiliates throughout the country. I think we're in 150 countries. Here on the Gulf Coast, the Mississippi Gulf Coast affiliate was actually the largest builder in Mississippi for years after Katrina. So, yeah, we have a pretty strong presence on the Gulf Coast.
Okay, stand by. We're about to take television and join it to radio here.
This is News Radio 710, WNTM.
Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. News Radio 710, 99.5 The Jag. It's Veterans Day. Lots of events for Veterans Day that I've been telling you about all morning. And I wanted to ask Cliff Barros to come in from Habitat for Humanity, Southwest Alabama, because Habitat is doing something special for Veterans Day this year. They've got 2 veterans repair projects tomorrow from early in the morning until late in the afternoon. Now, the first home, I was told, belongs to Leroy Leland and his wife, and you've got a group of students from Viger High School going to their home on Gill Road in Mobile to paint their house.
That's correct.
Now, a lot of people think of you, Habitat, and they think of you as building houses, helping people buy a new home.
Right.
They may not realize you'll help a veteran get their house painted.
Yeah, this is a newer program for us, probably in the last 5 or 6 years, where we really concentrate on taking the existing housing that people are in, especially if they have low income and they can't afford to make the new repairs and keep their house safe and decent, and help them do that. So we do the repairs that keep them safe, that keep the house decent, protect their investment, protect the community. It's really it's a pretty cool project. The Home Depot Fund really concentrated, the Home Depot Foundation rather, really concentrated on veterans. So we've been able to really work with veterans and making sure that particular group of people have good housing.
Now, how do you find a veteran like Leroy Leland who needs this kind of help? Does he come to you, or do you find him?
Doing things like this, coming out here on TV, coming on the radio, and talking to you and others, and telling people what we do, and hopefully word of mouth gets out. We've honestly not had to do any recruiting. We try to do 2 repairs a month.
For veterans?
For veterans.
Okay.
And we've been able to fill our need. We've always had work to do. So they managed to come to us. I think some of the veteran groups understand that what we're doing now, that concentrates solely on veterans, and they're referring them to us, which is great. We hope that continues to happen, and we want to do as many of these as we can.
Okay, so that is one of the repair jobs, a painting job tomorrow with veteran Leroy Leland on Gill Road in Mobile. Now, you're going to have volunteers from Viger High School's Community Service Club. Now, did you recruit them, or did they come to you? Did they say, we want to do something?
We probably recruited them at one point, but on this particular one, I think they came to us and said, we want to do a project. What do you have? And we told them what we had, and they jumped on board. I mean, I think veteran people love to do work for veterans, and they should, especially at this time of year. And so when we explain this program, it's easy to find volunteers usually. As long as people know we have the project out there, then we get our volunteers. And we could use more. Just because Viger's coming out there, if somebody's interested in volunteering, they can call Ariel at our office.
Now that's my Ariel that I work with. You have your own.
I have my own Ariel. That's right.
Yes.
You confused me earlier when you said Ariel came down. I was like, where is she? I didn't see my Ariel here. So
Ariel Fleming is your volunteer outreach coordinator at Habitat for Humanity, Southwest Alabama. And the number there is 251-476-7171, correct?
That's correct.
251-476-7171. We're going to continue here with Cliff and talk about the other veteran who's getting help tomorrow and a few other things that you may not know that Habitat is doing. And we'll do that in just a moment. First, for the radio listeners, traffic and weather together. We do it every 10 minutes on the 9s, and we'll be right back on TV and radio in just a moment.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Look for accidents on Airport and South McGregor in Mobile, as well as Government and Nob Hill. We don't have any big interstate problems, though. In fact, interstate volume, it figures to be a lot less than usual this morning. It is Veterans Day, both a federal and state holiday, so there just will not be as many of you out there as usual traveling across the Bayway through the Wallace Tunnel. Very quiet, uneventful drive so far. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
She didn't just visit the sick and poor. She moved in with them because they needed help. Mother Teresa couldn't do it all, but she gave her all. Compassion. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
5 ways to hire better and faster. Featured now at iHeartGulfCoastAdvertising.com.
First alert weather from WKRG News 5.
A mite chilly this morning with 40s for most and some folks dipping into the 30s. We're looking for a mild afternoon with a high in the 70s, lots of sunshine, and a light northerly breeze. Tonight, starry skies, mid-40s for an overnight low. We're back in the 70s for daytime highs on Saturday and Sunday. I'm meteorologist John Nodar with the News 5 First Alert Storm Team.
Traffic updates every 10 minutes on the 9s every morning. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Galatians chapter 6, verses 1 and 2 from the King James Version. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou be tempted. Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. Galatians chapter 6, verses 1 and 2 from the King James Version.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 The Jag. Also for watching this morning on the CW55 and on the News Radio 710 WNTM Facebook page. It's Veterans Day. Lots of things going on today for veterans to commemorate Veterans Day, show appreciation to veterans. And I wanted to bring in Cliff Barros from Habitat for Humanity, Southwest Alabama, today because there are projects to help veterans. There are repair jobs going on tomorrow. In the last segment, we talked about how veteran Leroy Leland was getting his house painted by some Viger High School community students. There's another home, Stephen Rygrod and his wife, he's a veteran, and they're having a group of students from the University of South Alabama Army ROTC volunteering at their home on Athey Road. That's right. Out, I guess that's almost out near the fairgrounds. So this is like some minor home repair. How big a job is that one?
I'm not sure what's left on this shop, but I think we put a new roof on this house.
Okay.
If we do roofing both ways. We use subcontractors sometimes, and sometimes we use volunteers, which is actually kind of a cool thing to watch because of who we are, and we're using volunteers that aren't necessarily roofers. They all get tied down to the roof, or we have scaffolding, so that if somebody falls, that they hit the scaffolding and not the floor. And we put about 10, 15 people up on a roof, and they just start hammering. And before you know it, by the end of the day, you got all new shingles on the roof. So it's a pretty cool project when that happens. I'm not sure if that's what's going on tomorrow, but it's definitely something we have done. And I feel I'm pretty confident that he actually got a roof.
Okay, so you have veterans. You help 2 veterans a month.
That's our goal, yes.
With different types of home repair that they need.
Yeah, it's not necessarily tied to the outside. We actually will do inside work with our veteran repair projects. We've had folks who's they've had a roof leak where we fix the roof, then go inside, fix the damage to the inside, the ceiling, the floors, the walls, whatever we need to do. We've replaced that. A lot of times the bathrooms themselves have had the toilet has a slow leak. And so the whole floor has rotted out, and so we'll fix that from time to time. Actually, it's a fairly regular repair that we do for our veterans.
Well, our country, we all seem to almost idolize veterans and speak so highly of veterans, show appreciation to veterans, and so it can be shocking to some of us when we find out that there are many homeless veterans.
That's right.
Or there are veterans like the ones that you're dealing with that are at low income levels and their homes are substandard and they're unable to afford their own home repairs.
That's right. That's unfortunate, but it is. We see it every day, and something that fortunately, again, Home Depot is able to provide enough funding to where we can really make an impact on their lives. not just here, but that's a nationwide program for Home Depot. So it's all across the country that we're able to do that.
Okay, so you can find Habitat for Humanity of Southwest Alabama on Facebook. That's probably the easiest way if you want to find them online, is look for Habitat for Humanity Southwest Alabama on Facebook. And I know a lot of my listeners are generous and would love to get involved either with a donation or maybe with their time. Do you always need volunteers?
We always need volunteers. We always need donations. When we look at a project like the two we're doing, we come up with what we call a scope of work and decide what can be done, and then we figure out what Home Depot can pay for, and there's almost always stuff left off the list.
Okay, we have a few more things to talk to Cliff about when we come back. Habitat for Humanity of Southwest Alabama. Look them up on Facebook or Google them. Helping out veterans this weekend. More in a moment.
They want you feeling like you're such an oddball.
Nobody wants to be the oddball.
No one knows what it's like.
Even Rush.
Oh, yes, even I.
When you're here today at 11, you're just like everyone else.
We're loons and oddballs.
News Radio 710 WNTM.
If you have a hearing problem or a loved one has a hearing problem, let me encourage you to meet the friendly people at EarLab. EarLab Hearing Improvement Centers in Mobile and on the Eastern Shore. The technology these days has improved in startling ways. Things are possible now that were not possible years ago when it comes to improving your hearing and improving the quality of your life. EarLab offers free, comprehensive hearing exams. I have one every year now. If you are found to have a hearing problem, there's no pressure put on you. The people at EarLab will simply let you know all the options available to address your hearing difficulty. Their telephone number in Mobile is 342-1144. That's 342-1144. You'll find them in Mobile on Downtown or Loop North, and on the Eastern Shore, you'll find them on Highway 98. You can also look for them online. They're at earlabmobile.com. That's earlabmobile.com. EarLab Hearing Improvement Centers.
At Mercedes-Benz of Mobile, servicing the customer always comes first. If your Mercedes is in need of repair or general maintenance, come see us at our state-of-the-art service center on Dolphin Street. Our highly certified auto technicians are equipped with the latest tools and technologies to take care of your Mercedes or any other luxury vehicle, including Lexus, BMW, Audi, and Jaguar. Give your car a little TLC and visit our service center at 3060 Dolphin Street today. Mercedes-Benz of Mobile, doing our part to keep you moving forward.
The sizzle of a steak on the grill, the crashing of waves on the beach, and whatever that is. At iHeartMedia, we have harnessed the power of sound in a way that can help you expand your reach to a new group of target customers and grow your business through.
We're back here on the CW55 with Habitat for Humanity of Southwest Alabama, Cliff Barros. I invited him in because it's Veterans Day. And tomorrow there are veterans being helped by Habitat. We're in a radio break. Cliff, and a little confusion for Cliff because we're on we're on radio and TV, but not at the same time. But we're in a radio break right now. The radio listeners are hearing different messages about area businesses, traffic, weather. We'll rejoin radio and TV. We'll smush them together in about 2 minutes. So right now it's just the two of us here on television. If someone knows a veteran that is of low income and needs help with some kind of home repair, and you don't mind if they get in touch with Habitat?
No, that we want them to, definitely.
You want them to, but I know there's a long list.
There is.
Obviously.
That's true. We do have a waiting list. Like I said, we're trying to do 2, sometimes three repairs a month for veterans. But it's better to get on the list now than wait until the list is even longer. So I would encourage people to come in. The fact that it's hard to determine whether you're low income or not low income, just call us. If you think that you're low income, give us a call. We'll tell you whether or not you qualify, and don't disqualify yourself.
Okay. And again, that's Habitat Humanity of Southwest Alabama. Just look for them online on Facebook or on Google. When we go back on radio, there's some other projects I wanted to ask you about before we run out of time that I'm excited about. And you still are in the traditional, what we think of Habitat, the main image of Habitat in this country is where someone buys a house and you help them purchase the house.
That's absolutely
and
right.
build the house.
That's
so
right.
that still goes on.
That's that's the core of who we are. That's sort of the central program that we run, and all of the other ones are extra that we can do.
How do you figure out where you're going to build the houses?
A lot of times it's by who's giving us the money, to be perfectly honest with you. You know, we raise the money, and then we sell the house to the family, but they don't pay us until they pay us 0 interest over 30 years.
But they are paying a mortgage.
Oh yeah, they're paying a mortgage.
No
and
free house.
Insurance, taxes, the whole thing. No free houses. Absolutely not. Thank you for bringing that up. I like to hit that every time I'm on TV or the radio.
Well, I'd noticed there was a Habitat house on the Eastern Shore, and I know that was built several years ago. And I did just note over the years that the people that built and then bought that house took excellent care of that house. I mean, it was a huge asset to that neighborhood is the reason I brought that up.
I think so. I mean, we certainly want that. That's the goal. And I think the overwhelming majority of our families do that.
All right, we're going to join radio now to television. Stand by.
News Radio 710, WNTM.
Back here on News Radio 710, WNTM 99.5 The Jag. Veterans Day, lots of Veterans Day events going on. A parade in Pensacola at 9 this morning, parade in Mobile at 10. You have the Blue Angels Air Show in Pensacola today and tomorrow. You've got a special celebration at 3 o'clock this afternoon at the Battleship Park in Mobile County, and also a concert tonight at 7 o'clock at the Battleship in Mobile. Tomorrow, a veteran is being helped having his house painted by volunteers from Habitat for Humanity of Southwest Alabama. Cliff Barros is with me talking about, I invited him in because they're helping veterans. They help veterans every month, if they can, with home repairs. I wanted to ask you about a different program, and that is where, if I understand it correctly, you've got some area businesses and also the city of Mobile that are helping revitalize streets or neighborhoods.
That's right. That's our Brush with Kindness program.
Explain what that is.
Really, we recognized that at some point Habitat International recognized what you had said a little earlier, that if you can change the feel of a neighborhood, you can actually change the neighborhood. And what that means, if you can make it improve the exterior of the houses, it helps the whole neighborhood sort of lift itself up. And so we've concentrated on trying to do that. The city sort of agrees with us on that. They've identified some neighborhoods that they want to see that happen to, and we're going to paint basically every house on the block in a couple of different neighborhoods this year and see how things go. And if it goes well, we're going to do it even more and more next year.
When is that going to happen?
Our goal was to try and get it done by December. It does not look like that's going to happen. So we picked Hoppin Street, which is down near Brookleaf Field. We've done Airbus, actually kind of kicked the whole project off for us. They had their 3 different divisions, each do a different house. So we've got 3 houses that are complete. We're going to do another 9 more in January. And then we're going to move over to State Street and do the whole State Street, the whole block of State Street.
Okay, so how did Airbus get involved in this?
That's their neighborhood, and they wanted to make an impact on where their people are driving through it every day. That's when they stop at the grocery store, at the convenience store. That's their neighbors, and they wanted to help. And that was an area they said, "What can you do?" And this is a project that it's relatively inexpensive for us. Valspar paint has been very good to Habitat across the country. We don't pay for paint. So if we get the volunteers from our corporations, then we're able to use the money to pay for the labor that it takes to figure out what needs to be done and to manage all those volunteers. The paint brushes, the rollers. We always end up having to repair siding, power washing, and so it's very little money, and yet has a pretty impactful turnaround.
So these homes that Airbus has been involved with, did you go to Airbus or did they come to you?
Airbus came to us.
So they came to you and they said, what? We drive through this neighborhood and we want to do something for this neighborhood?
Basically. That's basically exactly what it is. They really invested in Doyle Park and turned it around. And this is a neighborhood directly across the street. And they really wanted to see if they could start it at Doyle Park and then move outward and really impact the areas all around. I mean, it is their neighborhood.
Okay, so in the next few months, we're going to see some streets in Mobile have all the homes get a makeover. They're going to look better.
That's a good way to put it. That's exactly what we're trying to do.
Okay, see, this is the kind of thing that people wouldn't necessarily identify with Habitat for Humanity, and
No,
yet
that's true. But I think we're uniquely qualified to do it because we have such a strong volunteer base. We have our national partner, Valspar, who's providing the paint. We have the tools, and we have the know-how. I mean, we painted every new house we built. We've built 280 something houses, and every one of them had to be painted. So we certainly know how to paint a house. So it's a good fit for us.
Okay, so Airbus, they volunteered and did 3 houses near Airbus, and the city is working with you on these other homes where you're going to be painting down streets. So if somebody listening right now or watching right now, they've got a business and they want to improve the area around their business, they can get in touch with you and
that's it. It's a little more difficult. It takes a lot of coordination. That's what it is. And it takes time, and clearly it takes money, even just on the coordination side, to go out and find. Families are reticent. You would think that you say, we're going to paint your house, and they say, oh, yeah, go ahead. Come on, bring it on Saturday. But really, a lot of the low-income families have been promised things throughout the years that haven't been delivered.
They're suspicious.
They're suspicious.
Somebody shows up and says, hey, I want to paint your house.
I'm here with the government, and I'm here to help, right?
Right. We're a little suspicious of that.
And so it takes a little while to convince people that we mean what we say, that we're really going to be able to deliver it, and that it's okay, because we do, it's for low-income families, and so we're asking for proof of income. I don't blame folks for being suspicious, but I think once we finally get past that, our name Habitat really helps for that. And once we get past that, and you get the first few in, then the neighbors see what happened next door, and then it just builds. And so that takes a little time, but yes, and we want to do more of these. This is it's an important program for us. We talked about the home building is our core program, but all of the programs are important because they all lead to safer and better housing, and that's what we're really about.
Okay, we're almost out of time here with Cliff Barros of Habitat for Humanity of Southwest Alabama. Before we end this hour and you make your way out to do all that you do, talk about the Restore. You've got a retail store on Airport Boulevard in Mobile. What can people purchase at the store?
Pretty much most things that you need for a home repair. We've got flooring. Flooring is our biggest thing. Flooring, tile. We have area rugs, windows, doors, paint supplies, trim. So we've got quite a bit for fixing up your house, and we sell it fairly inexpensively. And
it's kind of like a thrift shop version of a Home Depot.
That's exactly what we like to think of ourselves as. It's exactly right. And we don't have everything. You're probably still going to have to hit the Home Depot after you stop at our store, but it's another opportunity for people who don't have maybe the means to go to Home Depot to fix up their house. And the profits do help Habitat. We turn around and build houses with that money. So it's a win-win for everybody there.
Okay, tell people where on Airport Boulevard the store is.
It's 3712, which is directly across from the Festival Center.
Okay, 3712 Airport Boulevard. Easy to find. All right, we're out of time. You can look for Habitat for Humanity Southwest Alabama. Just Google it or find them on Facebook to get more information. Cliff, thank you for coming in, and thank you for helping veterans tomorrow and also every month of the year.
It's our pleasure. It's the least we could do for them.
All right, radio listeners, the show continues after the news. TV viewers, thank you for watching, and I'll be back Monday morning at 5 o'clock.